Originally, we wanted a big celebrity to tell you that we've lowered prices on over 500 grocery items at Save-A-Lot. We were even going to use one of those classic rock songs to really punch up the message, but all that would have cost a lot of money. Money we'd rather pass along to you. After all, it's not save a little or save a decent amount. It's save a lot. This week, savor fresh T-bone steaks for $4.99 a pound and pick up peaches, plums, and nectarines for just 79 cents a pound.
Savings details at savealot.com. Available at participating locations. Certain restrictions apply.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Author Talk. This is author M.L.Ruscsak, and I'm here with my good friend and fellow Wild Dreams Publishing housemate, Kristen Collins. Welcome to my show today, Kristen.
Thank you for having me.
Now, here's the thing with me and Kristen. We both have Cine-Books out on Cine-Book.com or Cine-Book.com, however you want to word that, but it's Cine-Books.com. Mine has already plateaued with its voting things, which is amazing. Now we're trying to get Kristen there to join me, and she has 2 books there currently. One is actually doing really good today, thanks to a lot of promotion. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. She's at $5.79. We're halfway there, people. I would love to see this done before the middle of the month. And her second one is Sandman's Forbidden Love, and that one needs a lot of love and attention from us today because it's only at 50 and we need 1,000 votes to get both of these wonderful books into a new ebook format. So before we start going into questions, why don't you tell me about the problem child, Sandman's Forbidden Love?
Well, the reason why I think it's having the most trouble getting votes is there's a minor little typo on the title, and forbidden is missing the R. And as many times as I edit that information before you put it up to be published for the public, you have those little typos that happen here and there. You know, I think it's the jitters and the excitement of it all, and sometimes you miss those things, but I have been told by a few people they think that's why it's not getting as many votes, because I've had quite a few readers that love the story, and they love Sable and Sam, and I've been told that the story is just very original in the paranormal genre.
And you can connect to
different elements.
Characters. Yeah, you can connect to these characters really, really well. It's just, it's being a problem child for our house today.
Well, I figured going into the Cine-Books, I figured I'd put 2 books up, and see what my odds were of getting at least one of them out. As much as I would love for both of them to make it, I think if Sandman didn't make it, there's no fear. I'm going to put it up there again, and I'm going to try again. I won't put 2 books up again. Promoting for 2 books is super, super hard. And it's a lot of work marketing when you have more than one up for Cine-Books. And people are like, oh, which one do I vote for? Oh, I can only vote for one. And it's not even the case. You can vote for every book on Cine-Books, actually. If you want to give everybody a vote, you can do that. So that's the great thing about Cine-Books is you can vote in more than one spot.
Exactly. I love this platform, too, because it takes your movie elements and it blends in with an ebook, and then it also blends in the audiobook at the same time. So it's a wonderful, wonderful format. In case our listeners don't know what in the heck we're talking about today, it's going to be debuting this fall, I believe, is what is on their website right now. So
Yes.
And they have a couple trial books right now.
Yeah, the great thing about, from what I've seen with Cine-Books is it's almost like a motion picture, but it's not. It's just this really genius way of bringing books to life without that love-hate so much that you see when a lot of books get turned into movies. There's like, oh, I love the book more than the movie, and then you have some, oh, I love the movie more than the book. And I think it's a perfect blend between the two. And it really just, it's a new way to bring the books to life and really draw readers into the books themselves, you know?
Yeah, it was really marketing toward your older readers that need either someone read to them with the pictures of the Cine-Book, or with your people that like to listen to audiobook. You have that option with this. And it blends everything so perfectly. It covers all your, from the listener that's like 13, which is my daughter's, well, was my daughter's age, to your older readers that love books and sadly can't read the fine print anymore. Yes.
It lets like you said, it lets you reach a wide age group, and I mean, you get to include everybody into it, and it's really nice that you get to do that.
And then you also have Down the Rabbit Hole, which, like I said, it's at $5.79 right now, and that's up from what it was this morning when I talked to you. So let's talk about that one.
Okay. Down the Rabbit Hole is, a modern twist with Alice in Wonderland, but, you have different names, and it's a different type of storyline that is not, they're not pulled into Wonderland. That's the great thing about it. That's what I love about that story, is they're not pulled into Wonderland. And, I mean, every author's that writes fairy tale themed books wants to make it as original as possible. That's every author's goal, is to really draw the readers in and say, wow, that was original,
Mhm.
And, I mean, you start out, and first off, I want to say the Happy Ending Resorts is a wide multi-author series, and you get every kind of genre in it. There's so many wonderful talented authors that have anywhere from paranormal romance to horror theme to comedy to romance. I mean, all kinds of themes in the series. And I wanted to do something a little different with mine, and so I love Alice in Wonderland themed books. I love it. There's nothing more awesome than a world where nothing makes sense,
Oh, of course.
And and so I started off, the story goes with, you have Nyssa, who's getting married, and, her sister's with her. She's a cop, and, she stumbles upon her fiancé in a very compromising position right before the wedding. And, he's not this great fiancé. He's this abusive jerk, and, he's made her just feel worthless, that he was best she could do. And, then, the story goes on, and so she and her sister take the honeymoon that her and her now ex-fiancé were supposed to have. And they end up at the Happy Ending Resort. And she, by twist of fate, meets this guy named Maddox. And there's something irresistible about Maddox, blue-eyed devil, And then she finds out, I'm trying not to give too much away. You don't want to just tell the whole story.
Oh,
but, lots of stuff happens, and like another twist of fate, running away from this wonderful guy she just met for crazy reasons. I don't want to give away to y'all, because I really want y'all to read it, and you're going to be like, oh, really? Oh, just seems like she's Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen will happen to her, And she ends up in what's called the Crazy Debt Resort, And I had a fun time naming this resort. And actually, another author helped me name it. And because I told her, I said, I don't want it to be called Wonderland. I said, everybody calls it Wonderland or Underland or something, and that's great, but I wanted mine to be different. And so she's like, what if we called it, I said, I want something crazy. She goes, well, what if we call it the Crazy Depp Resort? And I said, Depp, like Johnny Depp? And she's like, yeah, he's insane. He plays the wackiest characters. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I like that. So the Crazy Depp Resort was created. But it isn't just your typical twisted other dimension world, whatever. Everybody there is a doppelganger of somebody at the resort. And they're not just like the same as them. They're twisted like Caterpillar. He resembles, he resembles Bear from the Happy Ending Resort. And, he's half caterpillar, and then you have Mouse, who resembles Callie from the Happy Ending Resort. And she's got bunny ears, and, she's these little humanoid type thing,
Now, since you have so much fun writing this, are you going to write a full-length novel from this?
I don't know. I've had some people ask me to, and I don't know because my novels, this one it was meant to be short. I mean, they're supposed to be novellas, as I call them. Short stories in the series, and I don't know yet. I mean, I did have a lot of fun writing it, though, but it was kind of fast paced and. To fit it in a good time frame, you know what I mean?
Right. My recommendation, do a full-length novel. That's just me. Give me something else. Give me something else to promote from down the rabbit hole. So.
All right. Well, Nissa Sister's Theory, she there's a lot of talk about her in this, and you see a lot of love for her sister in it, and a lot of dilemma and pull left and right in the story with her sister, especially with the doppelganger version, and Nissa struggles with some drama in the Crazy Debt Resort with her doppelganger sister, even though it's not her biological sister, it's her doppelganger sister. They're still like, oh, she's my sister. She looks like my sister. She, acts like my sister. There's a lot of that pull in there. So I'm thinking about maybe giving serious story.
That sounds like a wonderful, wonderful plan, because that would give you another outlet for me to promote down the rabbit hole. Then I'll have this other book to promote that's in correlation with that one. So I'm having a lot of fun promoting this book, by the way. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So
a lot of things that catch cover. Everybody's like, oh, the cover. It's vintage. It's unique. I love it. And I had a friend of mine, Rachel Olson. She's also an author in the Happy Ending Resort, and she used to have a cover design business, but she stopped here in the last year, unfortunately, with real life and stuff. We all face that. And but she designed 2 covers for me, and but that was the first one she designed. She was so talented with her eye and just she could catch these fine details, and you love people that can do that kind of work.
Oh yes, there's so many talented cover designers out there and so many talented authors. Just finding the right blend between the two to get that happy medium to make both the outside of the book shine as well as the inside. It's special.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we covered the first. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered down the rabbit hole, yes.
You have so many books here. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to cover here. How about Grim Love? Is that one going to be the next Cine-Book hopeful?
Yes, yes, because A Sandman's Forbidden Love is the standalone in my Hybrid Love anthology, and it's its own unique story, but it comes to full term in the last one that I'm writing right now, Throne of Storms and Ashes. You see all the characters, hybrid characters that I try to bring to life in each story. They all come together in the last book, like a big final showdown. So Grim Love definitely is going to be the next one that I focus on after I get, Sandman as a sim book. And how do I say it? It's its own crazy story. I mean, it's the first.
Yeah.
It's besides Sandman, it's the first. I wrote Sandman and Grim Love at the same time, but I finished Grim Love. They were my very first two books I've ever published, and novel-wise. And you get Reapers, you get Angels, Nephilim. You get a little bit of everything in there, and of course, lots of drama.
Oh, you can't have a good book without drama.
Oh, you got lots of drama. That's what makes everybody say, "Oh, I hate that person. Oh, I love her. Why is he being so stupid?"
Exactly. You have to have an airhead moment, you have to have the drama, and you have to have something in the mix there that makes your story your story.
Yes.
It works out great, though.
Yeah, it really does. And a lot of my books, writing the human type stuff is so easy because you experience the human type drama every day. A fight with a boyfriend, or your heart gets broken, you lose somebody. You in your life you live these type of things. I would say the more difficult parts of it is trying to add in the supernatural aspect to fit perfectly with it.
Yeah, blending the two is, even for myself, even though I don't normally do paranormal, I do fantasy, but still you have to blend what your mind says is fantasy versus the human elements. In all books, regardless of what genre, you have to have that human element for the connection to the characters.
Yes. And, even though it's not real, and fantasy and paranormal, even though it's not real, you want to give it a sense of, wow, that sounds like it could be real. It sounds like that could happen. If there was the real paranormal aspects of these types of things, such as shifters and all that in this world, you're like, wow, I need to make that as realistic as possible. You don't want to make it too outrageous. You know what I mean?
Right. Is your sad parts there? Do you need tissues? Are your happy parts there? Again, do you need tissues? It's just tugging on heartstrings, just enough to be realistic.
Yes,
so,
yes. I'd say that the next book after Grimm, I wrote called The Child with Silver Eyes. It made me cry writing parts of it, especially in the beginning.
I love that cover, by the way.
Do what?
I love that cover for Child with the Silver Eyes. I love wolves, and of course that's the cover. So.
Thank you. Rachel Olsen actually was the one that created that cover too for me.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at your books as we're talking, so I can give insights to the covers on the radio so they can find you. And all these books that we're talking about, you can find on Amazon. Just look up Kristen Collins. And, again, I'm going to have that posted on the podcast itself, so you can find that really, really quickly, as long as with the Cine-Book information. But I love your covers. They're all realistic and colorful.
Thank that. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, saying, most readers, they look at the covers and that's what grabs them. And you want to make the covers be like, ooh, that is gorgeous. Ooh, that might be something I like. Covers are really the first thing that will grab your readers, and I'd probably say the titles too. Titles give away usually what kind of book it is, genre-wise, I mean.
Mhm. See, mine with the New Reign, it's gone through 3 covers. I'm on my 3rd and final cover, hopefully. But I had to redo the New Reign for personal reasons. But I fell in love with the current cover. That's not out yet, but we're working on it. But now all my covers coincide with one another for the same series. So it's always good getting the covers to line up.
I'll be honest, when I first started writing books, I didn't think about the covers going with one another. Even though, you see Harry Potter, they all have a theme. Even Elisa Moore's The Touch Saga, she's my absolute favorite. And I love her series. Her covers are just to die for. They're gorgeous. And I'm a little jealous. They're just wonderful, but in a good way. They're just great. Yeah. And that's, and, then the book itself is just great. And that's what caught me. It was the cover of the first book. I'm like, wow, that's gorgeous. And then I started reading, I couldn't put the series down.
See, I'm guarded with covers because I've gotten books both for myself and for my daughter that on the surface, on the cover, on the blog, on the back of the cover, the book looks excellent. And, of course, I don't always read a book before I buy it. Yeah. And then we get home, and we're like, nothing on the inside of the book is conveyed on the outside of the book, or vice versa.
Oh.
And it's I'm guarded. Yeah, I'm guarded with my covers because as an author, we strive to make the cover resemble what's inside. But there's times that you have an awesome cover, but it's not wrote for the book or made for the book. So I'm always guarded with.
Yeah,
but I know
I've always experienced that very few, and I mean, it can be disappointing, but I mean, I always give a book a shot, even if it isn't what I originally thought I was going to have. I like to give it a shot just because it could be a great story, Oh,
yeah. I never judge the book solely on the cover. I'll judge the cover one way, and I'll judge the inside of the book another way. It's just
exactly.
As a reader, as a reviewer, as a blogger, that's just my format of doing things.
Oh yeah.
And that, so it's out there.
Well, the indie world has just really boomed over the last 2 years. I've seen, really, really boomed. And I mean, you have a lot of the what I call the veteran authors taking in these new authors under their wings, and I'm so grateful that like Wild Dreams, I found them and they took me in. They're like, hey, we need to get your book straightened up, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then there we went. And then I've actually grown successfully because of that, and that's what it usually takes is when you're the newbie in the indie author world, being taken under somebody's wing, because you don't always know the ins and outs, and it's very easy to make those newbie mistakes, like you try to design your own cover. I did that with one of my art journals, and I had to redo it. I had to get it redone. And even on some of my novels, I had to get the covers redone because I designed them myself, but they weren't that professional status. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. See, with me, with my covers, the first time I published was through another publisher, and they designed the cover. I hated the cover from the get-go. So when I got over to Wild Dreams, I said, no, I want to try designing my own cover. And I loved my cover, but it wasn't there yet. It portrayed the book good, but it wasn't the best that it can be. And now this third cover, it hits every aspect that I needed to hit for the new edition.
Yeah. Well, you have to. If you don't love the cover, it's not going to go well for you. You're not going to be satisfied with the final product. And when actually I came into Wild Dreams. They're currently republishing my Hybrid Love anthology, and they did Sandman, and Sandman got a new cover, but Grim Love had an updated cover too. The cover for Sandman was actually this, it was a pretty cover, it's just I didn't feel like it portrayed the story inside like it should, and it had more of a woodland type theme.
Okay.
And the new one, the images I found just really brought out things that happen in the story. You know, when a Sandman dies, he turns to gold dust, and he, you know, goes up into the stars with his ancestors. And that's what happens. And in the cover, you can see that. You get these two people, it looks like they're being broke away into dust. And I was like, wow. I saw the image. I was like, that's perfect. That looks just like what happens in my story. That's exactly what I saw. And so I had to have the image, you know, for the cover.
Exactly. You don't go out looking for elements. You stumble upon them.
Yeah.
And then you find them. Then you take them to a creator who can do the cover, and they'll, here's the images. See what you can come up with.
This is what my book says. You know, I try to give all my cover designers a copy of my book, and you know, ebook wise, and I ask them, please read it, and so we can be on the same level what I'm thinking cover wise. I always try to gift them with the book, so they're like, oh, okay, I understand what she's thinking now. You know what I mean?
From a design perspective, it's always easier to work with a cover designer that's able to read at least a good portion of your book if you don't have it all written, than trying to do a cover completely in the blind.
Yeah, that it's true. It's really true. Elizabeth from LKO is the designer for my last book in the Hybrid Love anthology, and all I did was just give her, you know, like excerpts of, you know, parts and, you know, descriptions and stuff, and I told her this image I saw just really, really hits for this book, but I need you, like, she, you know, she needs wings because she's an angel and all this, but I have to show you sometime, Melissa, the final product, because the cover for the book turned out like, oh, my heart just stopped. I was like, that's her, that's the girl in my book. You know, it just, there's so many wonderful designers I've met and out there, and, you know, someone who's really encouraged me since the very beginning as a cover designer is Lee Ching. Do you know who she is with Undercover Designs?
Unfortunately, I'm not up on cover artists. I know of, like, our Bella, I know she does some. I do.
Oh, I love Bella. She's the one that did Sandman.
Yeah, I love Bella. I do my own, and then I also do covers for other authors, but other than that, I don't know the other cover designers. But I mostly do the fantasy covers. So I have my hand in too many things.
You are quite busy. You've been doing a lot of work, if I might say so. I mean, you've been by my side from the beginning with Cine-Books, and you're amazing. The book trailer you created has gotten almost 1,000 views. I don't know if you've known that yet, but since I shared it from my page, yeah, it's almost at 1,000 views. So that's like, it's just awesome. Makes me so excited.
No, I don't keep track of how many views my videos and my trailers get. Maybe I should, but no, I had no idea on that. So that's excellent, and we have like 90 seconds. So yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
So this is M.L.Ruscsak with Author Talk with Kristen Collins. Again, Kristen, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate you having me.
You're welcome. This has been so fun, and I want to do it again as soon as you get the next book out.
Oh, you got it. We will, for sure.
And, of course, for your next Cine-Book, because, you know, I'm all about promoting the Cine-Book platforms as the Wild Dreams Cine-Book guru.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job, Melissa. I appreciate everything you've done.
If there's anything else, let me know what I can do for you. And
That
that's
sounds
it for
great.
this episode of Author Talk.